All right, Coach. Yeah, Coach E, man. Yeah, great win today. Boys look good. All right. All right, good job, man. Oh, I gotta go, Coach. All right. Oh, hey, y'all. Didn't even see y'all there. Somebody watch Cowboys spit.
Here we go! Yeah, here we go! Wait, take
Cowboys spit.
Throws back of the end zone. There's CeeDee Lamb.
Going on, everybody. Cowboys C3. He said this is the quickest post game I've ever seen on this channel. I had this one ready. First off, full disclosure, I will apologize. I was totally wrong. I'm a man of my word. I said if they came out and followed the keys to victory, which I didn't think that they could, I would apologize. Let's go back and recap Cowboy keys to victory. They were pretty simple. Establish the trenches from the jump. Did that today. Run Javonte and Jaden Blue. Ran them today. Keep Dak clean so he can cook. He cooked again. Contain Jaden Daniels. Did an excellent job. Linebackers, especially a middle linebacker, must fill gaps and hit. Did that all day. And play man coverage more than zone. Today, the Dallas Cowboys played a significant amount of zone coverage, man-to-man zone, man press. They were running a league-high 85% zone coverage and a league-low 7.8% man coverage this season before today. They came out today, played a lot of man-to-man. Tom Brady talked about it for almost half a quarter about how they were in man-to-man coverage. You even had Elam looking like a damn cornerback today. When you play man corners in man coverage, good things will happen for you. You create pressures. You do a lot of things different. Linebackers feel more comfortable. They come up, fill holes, make tackles. They don't have the man in front of you. Middle linebackers, man is the running back anyway. I'm gonna follow him wherever he goes. That's how you call a defense. I'm telling y'all, Eberflus, he watches Cowboys spit. He took some notes last night. He had to have. Go through the particulars for the game. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, 21 of 30, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Javonte Williams, 19 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 5 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. George Pickens, 4 catches for 82 yards. Jake Ferguson, 7 catches for 29 yards, 2 touchdowns. Turpin had 1 catch for 17. Tober had 1 catch for 16. Jaden Blue, Hunter Lemke, and Javonte Williams each had 1 catch for 5, 3, and 2 yards. For Washington, Jaden Daniels, 12 of 22 for 156 yards and a touchdown. Marcus Mariota, 4 of 10 for 63 yards and a pick. Jaden Daniels, 8 carries for 35 yards, was your leading rusher. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 13 carries, 33 yards. Long run of 9. Excellent job against the run today. Marcus Mariota had 2 carries for 34 yards. Jeremy McNichols had 2 carries for 22 yards. Receiving the ball, Jalen Lane had 3 catches for 60 yards. Chris Moore had 2 catches for 59 yards. Zach Ertz had 3 catches for 37 yards and a touchdown. And Robbie Chosen had 4 catches for 36 yards. Jeremy McNichols had 2 catches for 23 yards. Defensively, Bobby Wagner had 8 tackles, leading the way for Washington. Kenneth Murray had 9 tackles, 6 solo, 1 sack, and 2 tackles for loss. Shamar James had 9 tackles, 4 solo, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss. Deron Bland had 7 tackles, 5 solo. Marquise Bell had 6 tackles. Clowney had 5 tackles, 1 solo tackle, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss. Donovan Ezeraku had 4 tackles, 3 solo, and a sack. 4 total sacks for today. Complete turnaround from what you did last week against, some would argue, a better offense. Now, mind you, Washington had both of their starting wide receivers out, which would have helped them out some today. I don't think it's a 20-point difference, but the Cowboys came out and did exactly what they were supposed to do today. Dominate the trenches up front on both sides of the ball, run the ball efficiently, let Dak play off play action. On defense, linebackers fill holes, make tackles, corners play press man more than 10% of the time. They probably lined up in it, I would guess today, 50, 60% of the time. Still drop back in some zones, but that's okay. You have to mix up your coverages. Super efficient today. Very efficient. Super duper happy about it. You gain a game in the East, you get back up to 500. You got a tough game next week against Denver. They pulled a rabbit out of the damn hat today and beat New York strictly because New York doesn't have a field goal kicker that can make an extra point. And this was a solid win. There was some good scoring drives, solid scoring drives. Gave up a big play. First drive, Washington had the ball. 44-yard pass to Robbie Chosen, which that's okay. Like there are things like that are going to happen. You're going to have some coverage breakdowns. They were in a zone coverage when that happened. Continue to put the foot on Washington's throat all game long. They never let up. It wasn't like the Jets game where you back off in coverage and you just start letting them, articulate the ball down the field. Stayed on it all game long. Knocked Jaden Daniels out of the game. Seemed like he was okay. He came out of blue tent, gave a thumbs up. He didn't come back in. Marcus Mariota came on the field and did a pretty good job, had some good runs. Threw a pick six to Deron Bland. Cowboys forced 2 turnovers today. Didn't commit any turnovers. Very, very, very well played football game for the Dallas Cowboys today. Super duper happy. He said, man down sports. What's going on? It's not that serious. They look pretty good. Most confident Dak I've ever seen. I've seen him like that a lot this year, Larry. I mean, he has been playing really good football, man. And he's consistent, throwing 3 touchdowns a game, not forcing any passes into less than ideal situations. Did have a touchy pass he tried to squeeze into CD Lamb early in the game, but it just got broken up. It wasn't really in any risk of being intercepted, but he's doing a really good job of taking care of the ball. And I believe there's a lot of pressure that's off of him because Javonte Williams takes a lot of pressure off of him. And Jaden Blue showed flashes today where, man, you can see he was trying to get loose. He was trying his best to get loose and had some pretty good runs, especially towards the end of the game. He just needs more opportunities, and I believe he'll get that. I believe he's beginning to earn those opportunities. So I'm super happy with the performance offensively. Super duper happy with the performance defensively. I thought the corners played very well today. I thought Jaquezie Bridges played pretty good corner today. Kyer Elam played a really good corner today. Deron Bland is slowly becoming my favorite defender on the Dallas Cowboys. He tackles running backs, wide receiver, anybody that comes around the corner, he's going to hit them. And you can't ask much more from a corner, especially from a dude that just got paid. So happy with the performance. There is a distinct difference when the Cowboys play a lot of man coverage. They are just a better football team. You have a lot of people in that secondary that have been playing man coverage from high school. You start trying to throw them into zone coverage, and it just doesn't work. Too bad Diggs didn't get to play today. And I don't know. I don't know what Diggs' future holds with the Cowboys, but they kind of showed you today that they can definitely live without him. Say Clowney got some snaps. He did, and he looked good. Had a pass breakup, had a sack. Was dominant setting his edge today. Constant penetration from Jadeveon Clowney when he was on the field. And for him to be signed 2 weeks ago, is just trending upwards for him, and that's a good thing. I thought that I thought that I thought that Elam played a really, really good football game. Even on the pass interference call, he broke it up, and I thought it was a clean play. It was very, very touchy for a pass interference call. And, even the announcers talked about it, like, that's touchy, and, he kind of got his hand around the hip. It was a little bit of early contact, but you are supposed to significantly impede the wide receiver in his path of catching a pass. And he didn't do that. But I, I thought, other than that, I thought he played a clean game. Everybody was pretty clean for the most part. Kenneth Murray played probably the best football game I've ever seen him play. When he played for the Chargers, I thought he was going to be really good. I used to watch the Chargers because I was in San Diego at that time. Watched him play there. Was a little underwhelmed. Today was probably the best football game I've seen him play. And, shouts out to him. He did what he had to do. He's filling holes, making tackles. Merritt was averaging, what they say, 6.2 yards a carry for the season. I think he left the game today he averaged 2.8. You can't beat that, man. That's what you ask for the defense. You ask to play complementary football. Your offense is going to score you points. All you have to do is hold a team 20, 22 points. And you go win most of the games with this Cowboy offense. As long as they can stay healthy, man, they're dangerous. Super dangerous. Dak is playing out of his mind. Offensive line looked really good today, opening up holes for Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue. And then with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, them dudes are crazy. Like, they are out of control. I thought a lot of momentum shift on the third down when Dak went right up the sideline to CeeDee Lamb. Man, they had Marshawn Lattimore looking stupid today. Like he didn't look like he belonged today. He rotated over on CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb would get the best of him. Pickens was on his ass all day long. Look, that's what you ask. This offense will put pressure on opposing defenses, and they got a tough defense coming up next week for sure. So the offense is clicking for sure. Absolutely, they are in prime form right now, and they just keep it going. As long as they can stay healthy, I think the Cowboy offense will be just fine. I really do. Said Clowney 2 batted balls and a fumble recovery in the sack. He sure did. He did recover the fumble that Donovan Ezeraku caused. He did recover that. And that was the play Jaden Daniels got hurt. And I didn't like the way his leg got twisted up in there, and the grimace that he had on his face. But he came out of the tent, gave a thumbs up when the locker room. Pretty sure they probably just held him out for precautionary reasons. There probably wasn't an opportunity for them to come back in the game today anyway, so they just held him out. Mariota came in. He'd been playing pretty good anyway while Daniels was out with the knee injury. Cowboys looked good today. They look good. And especially with that type of performance against a division rival, it just bodes well for the Cowboys. Eagles won today. Giants lost. Washington lost to Dallas. That means you move up a game in the division. There's some games that in these past couple of weeks that you probably should have won. You can't take those games back. You can only move forward. You got a tough one coming up next week. You got to go to Mile High. It's going to be hard to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a rough game. That offense exploded, I think, for 30 points in the second half, I believe, today against the Giants. They can move the ball down the field, and they play really good defense. They kind of shut that New York defense, that New York offense down in the second half. Had Jackson Dart throwing picks and kind of held Scatterboo under control. It's going to be a tough, grinding football game next week, and this is a good way to gain some confidence and go into Denver with a head full of steam. Say we won today. What does that mean for us? Well, back to 500. You can 1 week at a time. What you look for with the defense, the way they play today, you look for sustained superior performance. You want them to have this type of performance for the weeks to come, because you're going to play some really, really, really good football teams here in the weeks to come. You got a couple of games before the bye. You get a bye week, and then the gauntlet starts. And you play some teams that, Kansas City, on Thanksgiving Day, that's tough. You got to play the Chargers, even though they're not playing very well right now. And you hope that trend continues, but they have a really good football team. Still got to play Washington again. They're going to come back, and if they're healthy, they're going to come back. They're going to want blood on Christmas Day. Still got to play the Eagles again. You owe them one from the first game of the season, where in the game you probably should have won. You got some real opportunities to put your foot forward and possibly be a playoff contender. Possibly. You know, everybody waits for Cowboys to, after a big win to say, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. I think that shit is out of the question. But what I do think is that they can become competitive, and this defense can start to move up in the rankings and get in that 18 to 20 frame right there. And they keep playing the way that they played today, they'll be there. I think that we can be a competitive football team. Say since the Micah trade, the Cowboys feel like they're playing with house money. I mean, possibly. So the thing that the Micah trade did, and the more you think about it, I think the more you can kind of understand where Jerry was coming from with the Micah trade. I just think that it was horrendous timing for the trade. Like, it made it look like it was like a vengeance move. You understand what I'm saying? You could have got more for Micah Parsons. If you didn't have a notion that you were going to play with him this season, why would you wait till the week before the season started? Why not trade him in March and April when these teams are desperate for pass rushers and they're trying to draft pass rushers in the first round, and they're willing to give you that pick and then some more picks for him? You got 2 first-round picks from Green Bay. Green Bay is going to be a playoff team. They're going to win that division. So it's going to be a low pick. It'll be in the 20s, possibly in the 30s if they play to their potential, because that's a really good football team. I just believe you could have got more from it, but you still have 2 first-round picks for the next couple of years. You may be able to trade and add some players this year before the trade deadline. I don't know, but I think it would be a shame to waste the offensive performance, particularly from your quarterback this season. And George Pickens is out of control. Like, I'm telling you, I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks. Jerry needs to take his ass in the locker room with a contract right now and sign that dude before he becomes too expensive, because he's playing like a number 1 receiver. Yeah, I mean, you have an opportunity to make your team better than what they are. If you're going to continue to have Matt Eberflus as your defensive coordinator, and he is dead set on running the type of defensive scheme that he wants, maybe you can get some players in here that can run that scheme. I just, me personally, with everything that's going on with Trayvon Diggs in the last couple of years, I just don't think that he'll be around, not after this season. But they showed you today they can cover some people. You know what I mean? Like, if man them up, especially down there in the red zone, like, and it makes quarterbacks have to throw in tight windows. You don't want quarterbacks just running around throwing the ball to wide open receivers. That's tough. And it puts a lot of pressure on your defense. Eberflus is absolutely the word for it. At one defensive performance today does not change my mind about him. I don't think he's the best man for the defensive coordinator position with the Dallas Cowboys, strictly because he has shown no ability to adjust. He showed that today for one game. Now let's see what he does moving forward, because like I said, you're going to play some really, really good football teams here in the next month or two. And I mean, from now into December. And, if you really going to make a run and try to, at least be a wild card team, you're going to have to play some good defense. That defense is going to have to move up. And this offense will travel. It'll travel anywhere. They can run the ball. Javonte Williams runs the ball hard. Jaden Blue gives you a little bit of lightning in the backfield. And then those 2 wide receivers are hell to handle. And just with them being the way that they are, Jake Ferguson is quietly becoming a really, really good tight end in the NFL. A really good tight end in the NFL. And offensive line plays pretty well too. So offensively, don't have many worries. The only thing I think that concerns me the most about the offense is Dak's past has shown you that when the defense struggles, he starts to take a lot of chances, and that's when the turnovers start happening. This year, he's been very confident, very comfortable with what he's doing, hasn't really taken many chances, and the proof is in the pudding. They got the number one offense in the NFL. So, you know, he I have no doubt in Dak's ability to lead the football team. I don't. I never have really. And there's a lot of he faces a lot of scrutiny all the time, especially in the media. CD Lamb had a real interesting interview. I meant to put it on here last week, but I didn't get to do the show during the week. He said that Dak Prescott does a very, very good job of tuning everybody out. He was like tuning y'all out. He was talking to the media. And he was like, there's a lot of times that I'll be sitting in the stadium and I'll be like, man, you see this shit? You know what I mean? And Dak would be like, see what? Like, what are you talking about? Just an excellent job of just blocking out the bullshit. And my second favorite quarterback in the NFL. Lamar Jackson is my favorite quarterback in the NFL. Anytime Lamar Jackson is playing, I watch. But Dak is my second favorite. So yeah. I think that the Cowboys they have the potential to be a lot better than they've been up until before this game. They can be a lot better. And it's all gonna be predicated on how well the defense plays from this day forward. As long as they can play the way that they played today, the Cowboys have an opportunity to win a lot of these games that are coming up. But if we go back to the same old thing, then you just get in track meets, which is what I expected today. I expected the track meet. I said the Cowboys would lose 42-40. And, they scored 44 points. So, yeah, it is what it is. We will break down the Denver game next Saturday, but we'll do another show. He said Lamar is my favorite quarterback too. Imagine if his defense was good. Lamar has played with good defenses for the last 3 or 4 years. I don't know what happened to that defense this year. It don't look good, man. But they get to a certain point and they kind of fizzle out. Like it's a couple years ago when they played Buffalo in the playoffs and they had the number one rushing attack in the NFL. They were averaging like 170 something yards rushing the game. And then they came out and Lamar Jackson threw 44 passes. Like it's the weirdest shit, man. Like they get to certain levels, and it acts and it seems like the moment is too big. Not for the players. It seems like the moment gets too big for the coaching staff for them. And that's weird because I'm a Harbaugh fan. And I know he's hard-nosed football coach. I know he is, but sometimes those moments seem to be too big. And I don't know if, I don't really know what's going on with their team. I haven't really paid enough attention to it to try to figure it out. Cowboys keep my hands full enough. I can only monitor one football team at a time the way that I monitor the Cowboys, and they keep your hands full. So, best of luck. I love Lamar, and I think that the way that he's evolved his game from when he was a rookie to now is crazy to watch him play now, where he's super confident throwing the ball from the pocket. And if the pocket breaks down, it's still Lamar Jackson he can take off. Say John ain't shit. John ain't Jim. He's not. And Jim has a certain type of football that he likes. And even with the 49ers back in the day, and then with Michigan, it's a hard-nosed brand of football. Super hard-nosed and play good defense. And the Chargers, for a couple of weeks, were doing that. I don't really know what's going on with them either. I know they've kind of got hit with the injury bug as well. But every football team goes through injuries every single season. And if you can't adapt to that, then, it's going to be a really, really hard tenure, however long you're in LA, San Diego, whatever you want to call them. But I think that the Chargers will be fine. With Baltimore, maybe the light is starting to fizzle out a little bit. And yeah, something's off with the coaching staff. It's not that serious. I kind of tend to agree with that. Um, there's something that's off because you got some really, really big names on that defense, and I know they're dealing with a lot of injuries as well. But you still got some really good players on that defense, and they just can't seem to put it together. It's not like the Cowboys situation where you're kind of running around with a no-name defense, and the players that everybody does know their name, they not doing shit either. They did it today, but in the previous 6 weeks of the season, they haven't done very much. So maybe the Cowboys have an opportunity to turn this around. He said Chargers playing their 6-0. Yeah, I mean, they're and it's kind of like Washington today, especially when Luke McCaffrey went down off the kickoff return when he jumped up in the air and landed on the back of his head. Like, they're playing without their top two receivers. I think McCaffrey had caught a touchdown in like 4 of the past 5 games, and then he went out, and then your quarterback goes out. Like, these injuries start to pile on, and you never want to see players get hurt. Don't care if you're playing them and you want to beat that team or whatever. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. Injuries happen in the NFL, and for some teams, it happens more than others. Like watching San Francisco play Atlanta right now, like San Francisco is playing with a damn semi-pro team right now, but they still 4-2. You know what I'm saying? They still winning. So I think Atlanta is a very good football team, and I think this will be a very good game. But they injuries are gonna happen. Happens to the Cowboys every single year. Cowboys injury list looks just as long as San Francisco's. You just got to find a way to continue to play with your depth. That's what you signed the dudes to the 53-man roster for. If the next man up, if somebody goes down, then you got to go in and you got to carry the torch. Cowboy offensive line did a really good job of that for a couple weeks, but now the starters are starting to come back in, and they look pretty good. And it seems like a team like Baltimore, it just seems like that is not the case, not this year. I say Ravens coaching and injuries is the problem. Agreed. We talk about the same thing with Eberflus. It's the ability to adjust. And I know coaches kind of get stuck in their ways, and they get stuck in their system and their schemes, and they want to do things their way. But if you don't have the players to do that, you're going to have to make some adjustments. And that, in my opinion, is what makes you a really good football coach. And I don't think that John Harbaugh is a bad football coach. I think he's a really good coach, but I think he's having a problem to adjusting to what's going on around him with the football team. Yeah. So 44-22, man. Larry, I didn't have faith. I guess I got a little bit of faith now. I guess so. I guess I better, especially if they're going to play defense like that. This can be a really, really good football team, man. Cowboys can be a good team. But we'll see. A lot of season left. The only thing you can do is hope that these cats can stay healthy, get some of these players off the injury report, and get them on the field. You got some really, really good football players that are that'll be hitting the field here soon. A lot of people, doing a lot of practice, a lot of overshown on the practice field, not only doing work, but going through some drills and stuff. And and I look forward to seeing him, and I look forward to seeing how he fits into the system, how they kind of work him in. I'm almost for certain that he'll be on a pitch count. He had a pretty devastating knee injury. But Overshown is one of those dudes, and they talk about it. Within the Cowboy organization of how focused and determined he is. When he's in a rehabilitation situation, how focused and determined he is to come back healthy and come back stronger than what he was before. Complete and total opposite of Diggs. Diggs, you get fined $750,000 because you don't show up to your rehabilitation program. So, but to Diggs' defense, there was clearly videos of him on YouTube working throughout the entire summer trying to get better. He was working a lot with his brother, but and his brother is quietly having a pretty good season too. So, hopefully they can turn that around, especially in that secondary. And I think them playing a lot more man coverage will make Diggs a lot more comfortable. And I think you probably start to see, Not quite the old Trayvon Diggs, but he'll be a lot better than what he's been in these past 6 games. I hope so. I do. Cowboys versus Denver next week. Go to Mile High. I think it's an early game. I believe so. Let's look and see. Yeah, no, game of the week, 325. Primetime game on Sunday. So have another big game, another primetime game next week. That one will probably be, since Denver's the home team, that one will probably be on CBS. And it should be a fun game. That's a really, really, really good team defensively in Denver. Offensively, they do some things pretty well. Bo Nix can be rattled though. If you put pressure on him, he can be rattled. And that's something that, they did a better job of today. And as long as you stay out of that soft ass zone and these receivers are open at the snap of the ball, I think you can force some pressure on Nix, and I think you'll be, at least competitive. Don't trust no one who is okay with giving up that much money. Who you talking about, Larry? Oh, you talking about Diggs and the 750,000? Yeah. Yeah. There's no way in hell that I would be in the building every single day during rehab if I knew the penalty for me not showing up for my rehab was going to be $750,000. That is crazy. I think that's the question of the week. And on a Friday where you get a concussion at the crib, what the hell were you doing at the crib where you concussed yourself? Like, that must have been, I'm like, what were you doing? Like, man, it had to be something crazy, or you slipped and fell out the shower. You know what I'm something like I'm hoping that it's something like that. I'm hoping that he didn't, run head first into the garage door or something, something. I don't know. I've never concussed myself at the crib. Never. Never. I did one time though, hit my head on the ship, um, run into a man overboard and tried to jump through a watertight door, threw a little knee knock on the door and jumped up too high and hit my head on the edge of it. And that shit hurt. I mean, it hurt, but I still had to go drive the small boat. But yeah, that hurt. So I'm hoping I'm hoping that Diggs is all right. I mean, but whatever he did at the crib on Friday put his ass in the concussion protocol, and that's crazy. Crazy. He said that dude don't want to play football for Jerry. He traded away his best friend. You know what I'm saying? And his feelings been hurt. And I know for a fact, and just by listening to interviews that he's done, I know for a fact that he don't like playing the Eberflus's system. He don't like that shit at all. And, to be honest, I don't really blame him. But if they can play today, I mean, Diggs would have been an excellent addition today because that's right up his alley. You just, man right across from you, you just follow that man around the field. And that's what he does the best. So, come back. You know what I mean? Like whatever if you gotta walk around the crib with one of them skateboard helmets on or something, whatever you gotta do to keep yourself ready for Sunday, like just do it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be getting no damn concussions at home, especially in the week where the Cowboys practice man coverage the entire week because that's what they planned on doing today, and it worked out very well for them. Very well. But anyway, okay. 44-22, Cowboys win. Excellent game. We will be back during the week this week. I promise you, we'll be back on Wednesday. May do it Tuesday. And we'll talk about the production, especially from the defense. And we'll talk about, whatever news happens this week. And, hopefully it's all good news. And we'll be definitely talking some about these players starting to return off the injury list. It says leave his brother His brother got a chip on his for real. You know, when his brother played Buffalo, man, like his brother was running around like legitimately like he had a chip on his shoulder. He wanted to show Buffalo that they made a huge mistake letting him go, and he did that, man. He had a great game. And you know, Trayvon, I think the bad part about it is that to me, it seems like if he doesn't get his way, like he pouts. He pouts a lot. And you pouted enough, and people have talked about it enough where you may Matt Eberflus come out of that zone and end the man. And in the first week that they do it, you get a concussion at the crib. Yeah, it's not good. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. And I'm a Diggs fan, and I hope that he bounces back, but he got to get out of his own way now. He got to. So, maybe it was just an unfortunate incident that happened at a really bad time. Who knows? But I'm hoping that that's what it was. And, he just missed this week, and he'll be back when they play Denver, because with Cortland Sutton, they're going to need him, because Sutton is a rangy cat. And, as long as Bo Nix can put the ball within a 1 mile radius of that dude, he's going to go up and get it. That dude can play some receiver now. So we'll be back Tuesday or Wednesday, and then we'll do the pregame on Saturday, and then Sunday we'll be back right around this time, and we'll do the postgame. Like Man Down said, hopefully it's one of the fastest post games that you ever seen on this channel again, because today I was excited about getting on here. I didn't have to fuss. I actually came on here and said good things about the Dallas Cowboys, and that makes me happy. All right, y'all. Cowboys C3. See you guys next week. Cowboys win 44-22. Go Cowboys. As always, win, lose, or draw. Cowboy fan for life. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.